these people, Shaftesbury for one, saw no contradiction between preaching the gospel, the need for salvation, and let's say the social action and the need for enterprise and what have you. Do you think that the church today does see a contradiction?
Yeah, I think so, in some respects. And it can be a complex question, but the beauty of the examples like Shaftesbury was precisely that. He understood the faith to be a public faith, not a private faith. He understood the faith to be something that required him to speak in Parliament and to seek social change. But he was very sceptical about the role of the state. And so even though he advocated legislation against social evil, he saw it primarily as a Christian responsibility, a responsibility of the people of God to actually act in order to improve people's lives. I think the problem today is we've sort of separated body and soul in such a way that it become an either or. But actually, that's not the way God views us. God views us as our body and soul is united. God views us as whole human beings. And so the more holistic we can be, so the better it is for the Christian message.
Although, of course, you would recognise that so much social good is done by those who aren't believers, who are in God's common grace, are able to work in various areas of society and do good there as well.
And of course, and we know that from the Bible, that God works and acts through people who are not necessarily part of his people. And that's because it's God's world that we live in. And God's world is a world in which all sorts of individuals in all sorts of conditions live and inhabit in need of the gospel. But that's why we need Christian politicians. It's not that politicians themselves don't do good, they do seek to do good, but you need, the bread needs to be leavened. So you need the Christian there to focus on that message. But God works through all sorts of people in all sorts of ways and in all sorts of settings because it's his world. But he calls Christians to operate in that setting and in those contexts.